my calculations are correct, when this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
They're here.
Do you really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
It's showtime.
Right, welcome everybody to another episode of... Right, welcome everybody to another episode of the VHS Strikes Back. I am one of your hosts, Chris. My co-host and very good friend is Dave.
Hey there, Chris, and hello to our listeners out there. Welcome to the VHS Strikes Back, the show where we dust off the old video player and go on a nostalgic journey to look at the good and the bad movies of yesteryear. Now, Chris, what are we going to review this week?
Well, Dave, it's your pick. You flipped the script. It should have been my pick. I'm quite happy about this because it's been a few years where you've been getting revenge on me. So we are going to be doing, my friend, a movie from the year 2000. It was made in 1999, but the year 2000. It stars Mr. Michael Keaton, Dave. Cole Hauser, if you've watched Yellowstone, he is Rip, the legend, and Too Fast, Too Furious as well. Kirsty Mitchell, Sir Brian Cox, Dave. But more importantly, Dave, it stars Robert Duvall and Super Ally. I've got a fucking turbo dick McCoist, Dave, of all people. So we are going to be reviewing A Shot at Glory. Now, Dave, where the hell did you see this movie or hear of it? Because I have never, ever even heard of this movie, ever. I haven't, honestly.
So it's through this podcast, Chris. So do you remember we did Gregory's Girl? And yes. I don't think we reviewed it that favourably. And there was a chap, Colin, who'd messaged in. He was sort of having a bit of a laugh, but, enjoyed it. And just having a bit of an email exchange. He said, have you seen this film, Shot at Glory, with Ally McCoist? And my first thought was, Ally McCoist in a movie? No, there's no chance. And then I looked at it on IMDb, I'm like, no way. It's in 2000, so you got Michael Keaton. He's been Batman a couple of times. You got Robert Duvall, fucking Hollywood royalty, and Ally McCoist. Like, the absurdity of it. And I think, if I think back to 2000, I was doing quite a lot of travel with work and stuff, so movies weren't high on my agenda for that year, so I think if I had maybe been a tad younger, I might have seen it, but I don't remember it being advertised or anything. So, yeah, I had to seek it out at that time. So I watched it. It was probably a couple of years ago now, or 2-3 years ago. And I watched it, and I'm imagining the worst, when I'm going into it. But, showing my hand a little bit, but I was like, actually, I quite like this. And I think if I'd have watched it, certainly when I was younger, if I'd have watched it then, I think I'd have fucking loved it. But the other thing, which I'm sure we'll speak about a bit, is Ally McCoist, an ex-Celtic player. What the hell is going on there? Yeah. So for many reasons, it sort of grabbed me a bit then. And I thought, Chris, so this has been in my back pocket for years. I thought, we'll definitely do this at some point. And Chris, Scotland, I remember, sat in the Corn Exchange in Preston, watching Scotland against Brazil in the 98 World Cup. Didn't go that well. But I just remember that World Cup, and beautiful summer it was, and that was when Owen, of course, scored for England against Argentina, even though they went out, but that goal gets showed again and again. And so this is the first time Scotland have qualified since then, and that just seems bonkers to me to think it's been so long. So Scotland again will play. Now, as we're recording this is before Scotland play Haiti. And I'm going to semi-confidently predict that they should do quite well. But, it never always goes that way. So by the time this episode comes out, we'll know the result of that match. But obviously, right now, we don't.
Dave, well. So I've never seen this. I'd never even heard of it until you watched it, Dave. You suggested this. And then again, it baffles my head. Ally McCoist in a movie. Now, let's be honest, Dave. Good-looking guy, Ally McCoist. He certainly was in the 90s. we just done, and I'm being an absolute stealing your thunder, but we did a watch along, didn't we? Because it is available on YouTube with our Patreons, Dave, and it's great fun. I must admit, we did it last night. You planned it all. It was brilliant. It was really good. But it was like, I think Helen said in there, like, yeah, he's a dish. He was a dish, Dave. A good-looking guy. Like, I mean, I remember him. And you said this as well about Question Sport. He replaced, like, I think it was Botham or in all that sort of caper. When anybody don't understand what it is, it's a TV show called Question Sports. You'd have two captains. It was all trivia based. It was all like caption rounds, general knowledge, blurred pictures. You know, it was a real massive thing, wasn't it? It was a massive show. Yeah. And he was always funny on Ally McCoist. Got real good charm about him. And obviously, we all know the stuff about Gaza, his best mate with Gaza, the stories where he's like coming into McCoist's house in the middle of the night. And they think this story says where he thinks someone's robbing his house and it was Gaza. And he was in his house making something to eat in his fridge and stuff and just didn't think it was unusual that his missus was fucking wanting to, thought they'd been burgled and stuff. You know, just, he tells a great story. He's now on Talk Sport. And he is also probably one of the, which is very rare, but I've seen a little bit of discourse on him recently because he's on everything. However, he's one of the most popular TV pundits. As a live football, he's a great anchor, not a wanker, an anchor. And I've just been showing Dave the Alexi Lalas comment from yesterday. If anybody, even if you're not into football, just put in on TikTok, Instagram, wherever, social media, you watch your short YouTube, just put in Alexi Lalas. He used to play for the USA USA 94 when they're in the World Cup. He used to have a big goat. He's a guitar player and he's a bit of a pundit over there, and basically calls James Corden a full kit wanker, but it sounds like he's saying fucking wanker, but you can just see the rest of the fucking, like, the presenter Thierry Henry Ibrahimovic is just like, what the hell have you just said? But he is right, James Corden is a fucking wanker, but there you go, it says full kit wanker because he's got a kit on filming some nonsense for a TV show. But anyway, So no idea about this. I've not got a clue about this even existed, but the fact that it's on YouTube, I'm thinking this is going to be bobbins. But having the consigliere, Dave, of, you know, the Corleone family as the lead actor, Mr. Robert Duvall, who unfortunately he's just passed away in the last few months, but absolute legend of an actor. I thought, you know what, this is interesting, and it's got Batman, Michael Keaton in it, who couldn't be more Ryan Reynolds if he tried, Dave. I've watched all, Coming to Rex, whatever it's fucking called.
Welcome to Rex.
Welcome there. Well, that's a different movie, Coming in Wrexham.
Downloaded the wrong one.
That's the Swingers Club, Dave, near the ground. But yeah, it's just really interesting as a football movie because I love watching stuff like that. You know, like I've loved stuff like that's the wrong way, but stuff like Bending with like Beckham, you know, different things. I've really enjoyed, that sort of stuff. So yeah, just really interested to see if he's any good, and just intrigued how good Ally McCoist is. That was what was more intrigued with. It's like, is he any good? So I'm glad you've picked this, mate. And I haven't stitched you for next week. We'll talk about it at the end. I think I've picked something good because I could have gone all the way and absolutely done you for next week. But no, I think you deserved a good movie this for my pick next week, even though I'm jumping a bit. But yeah, I'm looking forward to talking about this, and I can't wait for the trailer, Dave, because obviously with our Scottish heritage, it's just going to be unbelievable.
Well, Chris, I'm slightly shuddering before I say this, but should we get into our trailer?
Aye, let's go.
In a small Scottish town where football is more than a game.
It's apparently a legally recognised religion.
Do you remember Russ Abbott?
That's you, Jimmy.
I have to dish out the old Jimmy Cranky.
Gordon McLeod is a manager with a dream.
And a budget that wouldn't cover a Premier League mascot.
His team stands on the brink of history.
Mostly because nobody expected them to get this far.
But when a former football superstar arrives,
bringing talent, ego, and enough emotional baggage to fill a team bus,
old rivalries are reignited.
Scottish football, the only sport where a grudge can be inherited.
The odds are stacked against them.
Which is fortunate because underdog stories don't work otherwise.
One club, one dream, one shot at glory.
And approximately 17 inspirational speeches.
From the producers of Local Hero and Gregory's Girl
Comes the film that asks, what if the FA Cup would win more Tartan?
Gordon McLeod manages Kilnockie FC, a small Scottish football club with big ambitions and even bigger obstacles. When former Celtic star Jackie McQuillan arrives, looking for his last chance to prove himself, old wounds and divided loyalties threaten to tear their club apart. As Kilnockie embark on an unlikely cup run, the team must decide whether they can put their differences aside and chase the dream of a lifetime, a shot at glory. Now, Chris, what do you reckon to the opening of this movie?
I am absolutely baffled. I've never seen this or heard of it. Dave, it's unreal. I mean, there's not a lot online. I mean, you've got Keaton and Duvall in this,
Yeah.
Brian Cox. It's not, and you know what? It was interesting because obviously we've got Lee and Helen, two of our patrons who are Scottish, and we were talking, weren't we? And you said about this accent, Robert Duvall's accent
Yeah.
in the Discord. I don't think it's that bad, but obviously because we're Northerners from the UK, from England, it's sort of like maybe we're wrong. It's a bit like when someone does, you get it. I don't always say it, about any sort of American fucking production. The English guy's got to sound like Hugh Grant, like he's some post twat from fucking, been at fucking Oxford or fucking Cambridge or somewhere like that. One of them bellends. But I don't think he's that bad. However, someone who's Scottish knows better than me and you, Dave. But I just can't understand this movie, how it's not been on TV as well, because I think Ally McCoist is pretty good in this. I don't think he doesn't look like he's never acted before. He's obviously been doing some sort of acting, Dave. I mean, let's be honest, Dave, has he been doing an Anthony Gordon or a Trent Alexander-Arnold where he moves to a Spanish club and all of a sudden he speaks fluent Spanish within the press conference? Not like he's not been planning it. Has this been
It's all happened completely left
all
field.
of a sudden, hola, ¿cómo está? Fucking speaking. He's ordering all his food and that in Spanish. La cuenta, But he is, Ally McCoist doesn't look out of place. And you can see that they do use him sparingly a little bit because obviously really it's Robert Duvall, he's billed as the top man, isn't he? But Ally McCoist really is on the same level, and I saw Robert Duvall wanted him in the movie. It was supposed to be Russell Crowe, which I find bizarre. I was thinking he did the right thing doing Gladiator at the same time as this, Dave. I think he made the right career choice, but I just think it feels like I've watched some movies the last few years. There's that one, and it's a true story about the fishing group who were all like in a choir. I don't know if you watched it.
No,
but there's a few movies like this where it's a feel good movie. You know the outcome of it. Well, I didn't know the end of it, to be fair. The end was different than what I expected. However, I really, it just, coming from the UK, these sort of movies are bread and butter, aren't they? These sort of feel-good movies. Someone moves into some quaint little town, takes over the town, or does something where they're running a pub or something, and everyone fucking hates them, or they come in and they're the mayor or whatever, and they've got big ideas. Or we've seen this. This is like a UK DNA like movie. It doesn't feel different than anything I've not seen before. It happens all the time, these sort of movies. An American comes in dead brash or whatever, and everyone's like, what a dickhead. But then I suppose, Dave, I said coming in Wrexham, but welcome to Wrexham. What Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney have done, where they've come in, everyone's like, who are these bellends? And they've ingratiated themselves. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm still not 100% sure that they're not just going to fucking turn around tomorrow and fuck off, Dave. You know what I mean? But they've made a lot of money and come in and sort of transform Wrexham and put it on the map properly. And this is what this sort of feels like. Is like, obviously you've got the religious connotations, which I don't think they do a good job of explaining, but I understand it. But the biggest scandal in this is there's no way Ally McCoist to be playing for Celtic, and how he's signed off on this when he's one of Glasgow Rangers. He's probably Glasgow Rangers' most prolific striker for goals and appearances, most famous striker, and then he's supposed to play for Celtic. And that's a Catholic thing, because Celtic are Catholic and Rangers are Protestant. But my God, that is a stretch, and I cannot believe he even signed off on that, knowing the backlash. And I bet he still gets backlash now for this movie.
Yeah. And it's just one of those weird oddities, isn't it? So I was looking into this because it just boggled my mind to think that it's, be like someone, I don't know, maybe a great keeper like Peter Schmeichel going to Man City or something like that.
Not like it is, yeah.
Oh, wait, that happened. Yeah. So,
That like was.
Yeah. But yeah, it is one of the most weird things. So, I mean, in the 90s, I mean, probably, yeah, through the 90s, I mean, I was just football mad. I mean, as you get older and you gain more and more responsibilities and stuff, obviously you still love football, but, just don't watch every waking minute that I could. But I remember, like, when Scottish football first came on Sky and I'd end up watching, I don't know, fucking Kilmarnock against Hamilton Academicals or something, you just don't know anyone and, but you're just watching it. So I remember seeing quite a few of the Rangers and Celtic games and I recognised some of the goals that they used in the footage and they basically just coloured it in green. But sometimes they haven't been asked to even change it. So he's in blue. And I don't know if... the thing is, this movie is going to be most popular in Scotland, you would imagine. I mean, they've got Americans in there, so they want it to appeal to the American market, but you can't imagine it's going to be that big over there. But if you were watching from America, you probably wouldn't spot that, oh yeah, he's like in a Rangers kit, clearly, and the old Adidas 3 stripes, kit, because that was quite distinctive at the time. So it's just like, why would you do that? Why would you not just swap it around? But it's because, the whole script had been developed and, you've got Duvall who's playing, McLeod, who's this kind of Protestant, very conservative. McLeod, yeah. He's a descendant of Conor McLeod.
That French Canadian.
That could be a real legend. Yeah. McLeod, I've done McLeod. Yeah. We talk about bad Scottish accents, my word. Highlander. But, so yeah, it was all written that way, and it was in the end, Duvall who basically, like I say, is ridiculous. It could have been Russell Crowe, but he really wanted the football side of it to be authentic, and so he was the one who championed, it being McCoist. And again, like you, I don't think McCoist looks out of place. He doesn't look like he's acting in a terrible way at all. So again, I'm going to IMDb. I'm saying, what else has he been in? Well, his top thing is Question of Sport. Yeah. So, like, in terms of movie acting, it's a one and done for him. And I'm like, you know what? I'd have thought this would have been bigger, and he could have kicked on. But like you say, he's on fucking almost every football thing that I seem to watch now. Seems to do a lot of commentary for Amazon and what have you. Like I say, he's on Talk Sport quite frequently, so he's definitely busy. But yeah, this film really surprised me straight off the bat, and I was curious because another thing that surprised me is Duvall's accent, because I remember I worked with someone, a guy called Malcolm, and he was from I don't know. It was definitely outside Glasgow, but it was one of those, if we were away on site or something, having a few beers, honestly, a couple of beers in, I'm not understanding anything. And it very much like the accent that Duvall's going for. So I'm like, and some of it's not just the accent, it's like the little mannerisms. It's like, eh? Don't do very well, but the kind of way that he's speaking to his wife, and he just makes these little sounds, so not actual words or anything. But yeah, I thought it was quite good, but apparently it's not, and he slips into Geordie quite often. but the whole film sets it up quite well, doesn't it? And I was casting my mind back, because I'm sure in the 90s and early 2000s there was a bit of fear about kind of foreign ownership and like Americans taking over clubs and, then suddenly moving them to a completely different city. Because I remember, I'd honestly forgotten about that time. But this idea that they might take up Kilnockie and just move it to Dublin, it got me thinking. I was like, oh yeah, that was a genuine fear at one time.
100%. And listen, you know, obviously it's well documented how much I love Vegas. I've just come back from there. But you look at Las Vegas, in America, it isn't unusual just to move a whole team. So, like, they've got the Raiders now. You know, the Oakland Raiders, as I knew them, are now the Las Vegas Raiders. The A's, who are a baseball team, I think they're the Oakland A's. I think they are, but they're a baseball team. They're building a fucking baseball stadium right at the end of the runway that used to be the Tropicana in Vegas, and it's nearly built. And it's like they just moved them because of money. This happens to loads of teams in America, but there's not, and I think, I mean, it's not really leaned into a lot, really. They talk about a bit at the end of the movie, but it's sort of like as if to say, well, they're going to move to Dublin. Yeah. And nobody seems to give a shit. There'd be riots on the fucking little village, wouldn't there, and everything. People would be kicking right off, Dave. Yeah. Honestly, they would. And not just that, moving to Dublin. Why? There's no football in Ireland. Why the fuck would you move a Scottish football team to fucking Ireland? The Irish, even the Irish Premiership is not even at the level of the Scottish one. So why the fuck would you? And don't get the money either.
So this is going to be a tangent and a half, right? But it did get me thinking, and like you say, I think the Irish, I don't know, they must have a league, but you have Welsh teams, so like Wrexham playing the English Premier League, Swansea, Cardiff. So you do have like teams that play in a different country's league. I thought, actually, you know what? If you did have like an Irish team playing in the Scottish league, I thought that would work. It's a weird little thing I was thinking this week, because we have plenty of Irish players, but to be honest, if you're a decent Irish footballer, you're probably signing up for one of the English or Scottish teams, aren't you? So there's loads that come across and you know, work their way through the youth systems and stuff. But actually, you know, I thought, no, probably that might just work.
And I think as well, it might do. And you're right, we have got Welsh teams and everything as well, so you are right. But I think in Scotland especially, it's not Rangers and Celtic, I understand that. It's Kilnockie. I mean, what a fucking name. If you pull that out the bag, that is a horrendous name. But it's very religion-based, isn't it? And I think the fact that Robert Duvall doesn't speak to his daughter because she's married someone who's Catholic and he's Protestant. Yeah. And let's be honest, Dave, I know this. I know this from my family from Belfast. Like, my granddad was from Belfast, and we were brought up Catholics. You know, he's a Catholic, but he used to tell me stories. I remember him saying he went back to Northern Ireland in the 60s, and he was drinking in a bar, and they were asking Mike, who's the next player coming through at United? And this was obviously early 60s, because he moved to Manchester when he was 16, and he stayed there until he died 2 years ago. He was like 86, whatever, 85. And he said in a bar, he said, oh yeah, there's a great lad coming through called George Best. And he always told me this story. My granddad's a big bloke, because he was big as me, big fucking Irish, you know, worked in the boiler rooms and all that. And the fucking pub went up because they were like, because he was Protestant, George Best. And they were like, you orange this, orange that. You can't, you know, to my granddad, like, don't speak about it, because it was a Catholic pub. And it's that segregation. I mean, my granddad used to say, like, the troubles and all that, you know, and we knew about it. I've never actually been Belfast, but he knew about my mum's been and all that. But you know about the importance in Ireland, and especially in Scotland. Like, I think it was, who played for both of them? One of the players played for Celtic and Rangers, and he was Catholic, I think, and he moved. Really? Mo Johnson it was. He was. I think Mo Johnson. I think I'm going to get this wrong here, but I'm sure Mo Johnson was.
And Everton.
He played for Rangers and Everton, but I'm sure he's Catholic, Mo Johnson, and he moved to Rangers, didn't he? But he played at Celtic. There's a big thing about that, you know. Like, when that happened, it was a massive thing. I'm right. Jesus, Dave, I would have got fucking done myself there. I wasn't going up to Scotland, but yeah, I remember it. It's such a massive thing. I don't know whether, these players who've played for him who were not Scottish, who may have been Catholic or whatever, but that's the big thing in it. You know, they hate each other. It's just there. So to use that in the movie was interesting, but I don't think they actually explained it. The way it's talked about is it's only about halfway through where you realise he's not speaking to his daughter. Yeah. And I don't think they explain it, because if you're going to use that as a reason he doesn't speak to his daughter, but he speaks to Ally McCoist, who's Catholic, which is fine fucking stupid, who was, you know, top shagger Ally in this, but it's like Gordon McLeod, you know, add Jackie. I don't think that's very well leaned into. If you're going to use it as one of the main backdrops of the story, I don't think they do a good job of explaining about the whole sort of segregation of the Catholics and Protestants and stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of assumed knowledge, isn't there? It doesn't make a big deal of it. So if you were just watching from somewhere in the US or something, it wouldn't be that obvious, I don't think. And there's a little bit later on where Jackie kind of rescues a little kid. He's doing some graffiti, and he can see, like, there's some Celtic supporters coming round the corner. Obviously, Jackie, famous Celtic ex-player. There's only that, really. And honestly, I don't. There's something about that scene that doesn't particularly work for me. I mean, the kids don't look threatening at all. There's nothing threatening about it. It just looks like a scene out of Jossie's Giants or something.
What a film! What a show that is!
an after-school special, something like that. But again, just going off a tiny tangent here, Chris, I was just looking up Mo Johnson. He always had that striking barnet, didn't he? He looked like Boris Becker or something. But playing for Celtic, played 99 games. So give the lad his 100th game, for fuck's sake. But 99 games, 52 goals.
Wow.
One goal every two games. That is something else, isn't it? And for Rangers, not quite as good, but still pretty good. So 76 appearances, 31 goals. So not quite one goal every two games, but not far off as well. So what a player he was.
He was a great player. Because I just remember it was one of them where we'd get updates on. It would have been Grandstand, wouldn't it, or on the one on ITV, and you would get like Mo Johnson scored again. Mo Johnson scored again. It was like Ally McCoist. Ally McCoist, honestly, whatever we think of Ally McCoist, he was a hell of a fucking player. I've said it last night. We were the watch long, but I just wish he'd actually gone to. I know he played for Sunderland, but I wish he'd gone in the Premiership when it was big, because I'd love to have seen if he could have made it, because he was so good for Rangers. He was such a good player. Like, the goals he scores in this are not out of place. He scored all sorts of goals. Then he was not a big bloke, but he was just such a good player.
Yeah, I think around that time, though, Rangers were pretty dominant, weren't they? I mean, it's completely flipped now. I mean, Celtic steam it every year, pretty much. But yeah, I remember at that time when McCoist was playing there, Rangers were on top.
Yeah, and that was the thing. Like, if you went to Rangers or Celtic, you're pretty much knocked on for the league. I know. And again, one of my heroes growing up, and one of yours, I'm sure, didn't play for United, but should have done. Bottled it when he was about to sign. Fucked off to Tottenham. Is Gaza. Once Gaza went up there, it's sort of like, your career's over, really. And that's not being horrible. But you go into Scotland, you can win stuff, but it never has the credibility of the Premiership, does it? Because it's two teams.
God, I can feel the hate mail coming in already.
But it's not. It's not the hate mail, because I understand that you love your team, but you look at this season, Hearts should have won that league. And then they sort of bottled it, and there was loads of conjecture in that last game against Celtic. But Hearts were unbelievable. I wanted them to win it.
I know it was handball. Honestly,
fucking bollocks. It was absolute bollocks. But you just knew they were going to win it, Celtic, and that's the problem. It's not in a bad way. It's like Fergie. Fergie brought the monopoly up, didn't he, with Aberdeen, and he won the league and everything and all that stuff, and that's got him where he was. Incidentally, Dave, he married a Catholic woman. Read his book. She was Catholic. He was Protestant. Played for Rangers. She wasn't Rangers, and that was a massive thing at the time. Rangers strikers married to a Catholic woman in the 60s. But yeah, Fergie was that. I even know that the church where Jordan had a Holy Communion in and all that sort of stuff, the priest, he used to go to that one in Chalton called St. John's, Dave, near the Horse and Jockey where he used to go. St. John's it was. And he's the big church there on Heads Lane, and he used to and he would talk. He was a big United fan, Father Mac, and this is God's honest truth. And Fergie was in there. He used to go to mass because she was obviously Catholic, and that Sunday he used to say, "I have two gods," and then it'd be like, "What do you mean, gods? We have two gods. So we have look, our Lord Jesus Christ and all this." He said, and also we have Sir Alexander Chapman Ferguson in there, and he make him stand up. And then he start talking about United and stuff, about football and that. Well, Fergie was in there, and he'd give a wave to everyone. But he used to go to mass, even though he was a Protestant. So,
I mean, I'm not religious, but I I think if I was, that sounds slightly sacrilegious.
That's like, it sounds fucking great if you don't mind, Dave. But anyway, I think it sounds great. But yeah, it's one of them where like so I don't know. I just wish Scottish football's just such a monopoly in it, and like now I think Celtic have signed fucking one of Hearts' best players as well. Straight away, or Rangers. One of them's just gone. A winger's just gone to one of them, and it's just. I think it's gone Rangers. Actually, sorry, it's gone Rangers. But you're just like, come on. It's a shame with Scottish football because I love the passion. The Old Firm derby, I'd love to go to one of them games. I just want to sit in the middle somewhere because they're absolutely fucking nuts, aren't they? The atmosphere is amazing. But yeah, and this isn't. If you like you say, I'm going to get a load of shit for it. As a entitled United fan who's won it all and all. I know we've been bobbins last years, but seen it all, I get it. And we were a bit like that as well. I do understand that. I mean, hypocrisy of what I'm saying, but that's why I think watching this and watching this movie, I think it's really interesting because you do get these odd sort of what's his name, giant killing wins, don't you? And that's what this leads to. But yeah, anyway, I've gone off on a proper tangent there, but I just find it a really interesting movie because they just don't deal with the real issues that are going on with Scottish football. But if with Kilnockie, they should have just said we're playing against Rangers and Celtic. That's the journey. But just to bring that in and have that Rangers undercurrent with like Robert Duvall's character and that, I just feel like they've just sold themselves short a little bit. I think with what we know the history. We're from the UK, but I guarantee most people from America at the time, I mean, internet wasn't massive then, but they'd have had to go online or had to research what's going on in this movie because it just doesn't say anything.
So yeah, I agree. It sort of does fall a bit short, but I mean, I've watched it like 3 times now. I do think there are enough hints like in between the football and the montages and stuff. You do get a bit of a hint of that. Particularly get some monologues with Duvall or McLeod rather. So yeah, I do agree, but we do know the history. So and again, the dissonance of having McCoist as this ex-Celtic player is like I say, just one of those massive oddities. But I tell you what, I did like Chris. The sort of interactions that he has with that McLeod has with McQuillan, and where he's sort of a wide boy, isn't he? He's off shagging this, that, and the other, top shagger, and the bit that I liked was where he was driving his car. Saying, this new invention in a car, and he's, McLeod's old school, isn't he? And you don't really have those managers anymore. I mean, crikey, I was looking just this summer as well because like Liverpool have just changed the manager and Areola is like fucking 43 or something. Looking at all these managers, it's like, oh fucking hell, when did that happen? All the managers are younger. Never mind the players now. But like he's proper old school, and I don't know if you remember, like John King used to be at Tranmere as well. It's like these proper old school managers, and he's there on his bike. But I loved how it's set up, and he's giving this speech about, all being about your heart and your lungs. And he's saying, you need to bring the heart and I can give you the lungs. And they go through this barn. And to be honest, I fucking love that scene because it's also very Rocky IV. You've got the, maybe they could have had a bit more Hearts on Fire type music, and they could have done some flashes across to Rangers with all their top equipment, no expense spared or whatever, the big giants, and then they're training in this barn, and jumping up and down on pallets and stuff. I thought it was great to just show that proper, tiny little club, basically no money, but McLeod's really passionate about it.
I think you're right, like that wholesome thing where, they're in the barn doing it. But again, did they have a deal with Jaguar? Ally McCoist's fucking car, he's everywhere. He's driving this fucking Jag everywhere in this convertible, which, to be honest, why the fuck would you have a convertible in Scotland, Dave? It's as wet as it is here. As I look out my window and it's fucking wet here as I'm filming in Horwich. But it's the way he's driving it, and then when he's running. But you can see Ally McCoist, he's obviously fitter than the rest of his team, even though they're saying like on the commentary in his first game, like, oh, he's still got it. He's bombing it around the pitch, and that's what doesn't make sense. They're like, yeah, Jackie, yeah. You can see he's carrying a few pounds there, but and I'm thinking, he looks slimmer than every single person in his fucking team. And the clues you've used, obviously, some sort of staged game and different scenario than these. I mean, thing is, in it, Owen Coyle, he was a good player for Bolton. He was a great player, Owen Coyle.
And I was looking up his character name. His character name's something else, but in the commentary, they definitely do say Owen Coyle.
Owen Coyle,
and I was
they
like,
do.
Oh, it is him. He's great for Bolton, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was a great player, really skillful, jinky player, wasn't he? He was like very underrated, and so I think he comes to Bolton later on in his career. He was a great player. I didn't mind watching him at all, but yeah, it's weird. Like I said, Cole Hauser's in it, fucking the keeper. Wheeler, absolute legend now in Yellowstone.
Sly Stallone role, bring the American into playing goals.
He's there as a movie vehicle tool, but he's underused and he's not used enough. He wasn't massive at this point anyway, but what I find weird though, I don't know about you, but I think, and this is a really odd thing to pull out of the movie. I mean, in fact, let's just talk about Ally McCoist fucking shagging. I was not expecting Super Ally to fucking literally his first scene. He's
Turbo
fucking
Dick.
having a bit with Turbo Dick. He's having a bit with a fucking fan or whatever he's doing. And obviously his missus. But what gets me when I'm watching the football stuff is how poor the acoustics are when they score, or how underwhelming they depict a goal. Because like Scottish football especially is renowned for pure passion from the fans, in it. Like they're absolutely, it's probably more of a Saturday afternoon. It's probably more of a thing than it is in the UK in that respect, because it's just a massive thing where everyone comes together, community, and that. Obviously, me and you support massive clubs, and we have fans coming from all over watching our teams. But you're looking at that, and I think like when he scores at the start, and it's a belting goal,
that overhead kick, what a goal that was!
Well. And he's better than fucking. Is it up there with Pele? Apparently, I believe so, Dave. I saw that, but again, they've just knocked a fucking team above them out in the FA Cup, and it's like everyone's just like, yeah, woo, yay, but they'd be going absolutely nuts. And I think for some reason they haven't gone to proper football matches and recorded what it sounds like for a goal to go in. You know what I mean? They should have probably gone to the Old Firm games, and when one of them scores, it's fucking horrendous, and it's like an earthquake going off. It's just, they go crazy whether you're at, Rangers ground, whatever, Ibrox or you're at Celtic Park. It absolutely just goes mental. Old Trafford, Anfield. You know what it's like when them goals go in. It goes up, everyone goes nuts, especially the last minute or against your biggest rivals or whatever. We've all been there. But it feels like a little pleasant sort of like we're watching a testimonial, like, oh, great, well done, yay. And that really, I don't know why. And I watched it with my headphones in, and maybe it was that, but I felt like it was completely underwhelmed. Like I'm rooting for Kilnockie and wanting them to win and all that sort of stuff. And we know that, at some point, it's going to come good in it, you know what I mean? Ally McCoist's character, he's going to come good sort of thing. But Jack he is, but it's just sort of like, it doesn't grab me. And I think that even like the fact, like you said, he goes over a kick. They're 3-1 up against the team. I know he gets sent off, but they're 3-1 up against the team above him. It's like a massive thing in the quarterfinals for the semi-finals, and it's just played off like, well, yay. And honestly, I don't know about you, whether you picked up on it, but honestly, that is really, it really takes me out as a football fan.
Yeah, I mean, so what it reminded me of like FIFA, but from about 15 years ago or something. Because
they changed the ref.
The Andy Gray commentary, it just comes in like slightly out of context, and Andy Gray's just in a studio somewhere just reading out these lines, and it just when it comes on FIFA, it's just slightly out of context with what's going on with the actual game and whatever. So that's what it reminded me of, and I agree, it did seem a little bit sanitized. I was amazed because Ally McCoist was never like an acrobatic show pony, was he? He was like, so to see him do that overhead kick as something else, and the fact they did it first time is unbelievable. But no, I thought they could have made more of the football. I feel like kind of Great Escape might have done a bit better with just some of the action scenes, whatever. You know what I love though? The different kind of side characters that you have. You've got like the one fan. I don't know how because he's like outside the crowd, but he's just behind the goalie, just abusing him. And then you've got the guy who's like he just can't watch, so he's got his back to the goal all the time. And he's just asking his mate, "What happened? What happened?" And so all these little quirks, and then you got the old fellas in the pub watching the game, and it's like, they'll lose this. You know, they're utter pessimists. So those different characters, you know, you kind of recognise from your own mates and friend circles and whatever, like different people and how they watch the game and get immersed into the game. And so, yeah, I thought, like I say, I've watched it 3 times now, and I think the last time I noticed it more, just all these different side characters that add a lot to the overall movie.
Yeah, I think they do. I think like you say, the keepers, everything. There's loads. There's proper heart to this movie, though. You know, I'm nitpicking on something. There is real heart to it, and I think it is good, the journey they go on. Like all the stuff with Jackie, like he's an absolute bellend. I mean, even the bit where they're on the coach going to the semi-final, and he goes past them both, bombs past them on this like prop. I mean, you got to say, it's so picturesque, Scotland. I've never been to Scotland, you know, Dave. It's so picturesque, and you think, God, the Highlands, it looks so good when they're doing all the running scenes. But it's not like leaves his convertible with the fucking roof up in the middle of Scotland, where he's probably going to be pissing down, and then gets on the coach, and he's like, right, boys, and it's just like, oh, you broke down. But I think that it all plays into it, and you get like you see, you know, Robert Duvall, Gordon, like he really, really likes Jackie, doesn't he? He starts talking when he goes to the house and his daughter's not there, and he's like, "Oh, what's the grandson?" He's like, "Is she there?" You know, and he's looking, and he's absolutely like in awe of him, isn't he? Because he's sort of, and I didn't understand when his wife saying you were just. Oh, his daughter, sorry, you're just jealous of all the talent he had. I think he'd come across in the movie like that. He come across like he was disappointed in him. A bit like, you know, he's a bit like Rocky.
I think both things were true, though. So he had all of this talent, and I guess he sees it as wasted talent, doesn't he? You know, he wishes like he had half the talent that Jackie did or does. But he didn't, so he had to work really hard for everything that he's got. Whereas Jackie McQuillan, like, it all comes just so naturally to him, and he just pisses it up the wall.
Yeah, true. Yeah, yeah, you've explained it right. As you probably are. That's probably more what it. No, but it is. It's just a really interesting movie. Like, you know, I think Duvall as well is underused. I don't think. Like some of the speeches he does and that, and he's getting them going and that. I don't think sometimes the editing doesn't deliver the punch that he's going for. Do you know what I mean? Like even when he's motivating him for the final, and he's like, and like you say, it's about the changing of the, you know, the franchise as they call it. We're going to move them to fucking Dublin, and he's like, yeah. Michael Keaton comes and goes, yeah. Nobody hates him. He's like, yeah. If we win against Rangers, you know, and then at the end, it's just like the chance. I mean, apparently this is based on the '94 Cup run, in it, where one of the lower teams beat Celtic, I think, in the final or something. That's like what it's supposed to be based on. But it's that bit, even at the end when they don't win, but ultimately, you know, morally we win. Dave, the family upset, but it's that bit Michael Keaton songs, and people go, yeah, we're not going anywhere. Look at the people around here. And I'm like, well, there's no build up to this. Michael Keaton's been in it having a free holiday in Scotland. He's dyed his hair blonde. He's doing absolutely fuck all. He has about 3 scenes in the movie. And then we're not even caring about him. There should have been a whole section where the whole town's up in arms. They're protesting, they're signing petitions, they're going to him at like AGM saying like, we don't want to move. That's what it should have been about. And then it's just this throwaway comment of, oh, look at these people, I can't move them. Oh, that's fucking great, that. I don't give a shit, to be honest, whether they got fuck off to Dublin or not. Michael, you've done a shit job. Or the way they've edited it, it's been such a shit job of me caring whether they fucked off to another country. I find that there was just loads of potential there to really pluck at the heartstrings. And they just didn't when they felt like they were just about, literally had an open goal, Dave, and then they just fucking bottled it. I don't know why. Ronnie Rosenthal style,
I was
Dave.
going to say, Ronnie Whelan, one of the most underrated players.
Good player.
To add.
Good player.
But, I think the problem is, like, the movie's only so long, isn't it? And I actually think this would translate well. I mean, you've got Ted Lasso, so they probably wouldn't do it, but you're right, they could have explored that a lot more. I think they could have done a good Ted Lasso job, but I think this film has probably influenced things like that came later. I mean, it was wrapped up rather quick, and I don't know who the two guys were sat next to him, but sat next to Michael
again.
Keaton.
Yeah, they were nothing, were they?
They were clearly like some businessman from Dublin or something. I think that was the implication. But what about that penalty, though? I mean, so it's a Hollywood movie, isn't it? So we have expectations that we're going to get this happy ending. So we get Jackie McQuillan. He's going to step up for the penalty, and of course, the American keeper got his moment in the sun, didn't he? He managed to save the penalty with some Mr. Miyagi like fishing analogy that was running through his head, and it was from Gordon. But then when he steps up for the penalty, now the second time I watched it, I'd forgotten that he misses it. And I'm just thinking, here we go, he's going to score here. And so when he saves it, it was a bit of a shock to me. I wasn't expecting it. Were you thinking it would go that way?
No, I honestly thought, because I must admit, so the penalties come. I'm waiting for extra time, and it's like, no usual. And to be fair, the commentary was spot on. No cup final should be won by a penalty and all this sort of thing. And when they missed the first penalty, I'm thinking, right. So I'm looking at the penalty numbers. As being both football fans, we've watched many disappointing and amazing penalty shootouts. England and United, probably with Liverpool, have got better as they've got older, Dave. But years ago, it was a gimme that no matter who United played, we were getting knocked out in penalties, probably until 2008 when John Terry slipped. But we were always shit. But you're watching the penalty, so it's like first free going, nothing. I mean, Cole Hauser might as well not even be in there. He was proper fucking usually in a Sylvester Stallone there, wasn't he? He was fucking shit. He didn't even make it look like he knew how to save a fucking a shot. Good throw callback that you said about Mike Hooper, Dave, play for Liverpool, who's Grobbelaar's understudy, very much like him, same Barnett. But yeah, and then when they miss, obviously Kilnockie, then Rangers score, and you think, and then they miss, don't they? So you're thinking, right, he's saved, so we're on here. It's going to go to sudden death. And then I'm thinking, well, who the fuck's going to take the penalty? So it up steps Jackie to take the last penalty, and he's got to score at this point, and because it's 4-3, and he misses. And I must admit, I wasn't expecting it. But then as I'm looking at the penalty numbers and what was left, I'm thinking, they're not going to take this to sudden death. And I'm thinking, is he going to miss this? Is he going to miss it? And I honestly, it shocked me that they made him miss. I get it because of Rangers, the powerhouse and all this, but ultimately, Dave, morally, they won as a family, I suppose. But I did feel, to be fair, it caught me off guard. It was all leaning towards Kilnockie winning, wasn't it? Historical win against stopping Rangers getting the treble. So again, I'm going to say it again, but to be fair, I think that was a good ending a little bit as well, because it would have took all the audience out because you thought they were going to win.
Yeah. And I think, like I say, it took me by surprise the first two times I watched it, but I think it's kind of perfect because, I mean, if you think Rocky, like the first one, he doesn't win, does he? So there's something good and like slightly shocking again, because it's a Hollywood movie about just having that, really good go, but you just fall short. I like that it was a bit of a surprise and they went that way with it, but yeah, and like you say, they're playing all happy families and fishing at the end, but I don't think Jackie particularly had any great epiphany. I think he's probably still off out shagging all his fans.
Yeah.
But it wraps up nicely. Fucking brilliant scene at the end there.
No, and honestly, I'm really pleased you've picked this one because it's a movie I've never heard of, but it felt really familiar and wholesome. So no, honestly, I'm really pleased.
Awesome. Well, should we get into our final review?
Let's go. So Dave, great pick. Love it. I mean, like I say, we always take the piss. It's on YouTube, but to be fair, I think this is as much as these nitpicks on it, I've said about like the way they portray football and all that sort of thing is a little bit bugs me. But it's like you watch the Skates of Victory. Fucking Stallone, I got a fucking clue. Like there's people online taking the piss out of the World Cup Americans, where there's ex-UFC champion, Daniel Cormier saying, there's no skill to football. And I'm like, yeah, mate, just whatever. You know what I mean? Like absolute bellends. But it is a hard thing sometimes to show football on the screen and make it look like as proper football fans. If you're just a casual, it's great, but as a proper football fan, it can be jarring because you unfortunately that fan in you, someone who like I'm seeing ticket to United, so I go every game and you that's why I think the noise wasn't there, things like that. Yeah, and don't start talking about Old Trafford noise, Dave. But you know what I mean. I'm just in general as a fan. You watch it live. You've watched it live. You get it. But no, I think I'm going to put this in Hill Valley, Dave. I think I definitely watch it again. I think Ally McCoist is pretty good in it. Robert Duvall's Scottish accent, I didn't have a problem with, but I do apologise to Lee and Helen and anyone else who's from Scotland listening who's going, Chris, it's fucking terrible, because I didn't pick up on the Geordie side of it. You could tell his natural voice was there, obviously, watching stuff like, Godfather, things like that. And there was a couple of times where I felt a more American came out than any other accent, but I didn't think he looked out of place, and I'm glad that Michael Keaton didn't try a fucking Scottish accent, because at first I thought he was doing Scottish. He didn't. He just stuck to what he knows, which is fine. So great pick, mate. And I think this is a bit of a hidden gem, if I'm being honest. I think it's a really, really wholesome movie.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I do agree that I think it's always hard to depict football in a movie. I can't think of, even like we say about Escape to Victory and that, and I haven't watched the goal ones as well. Maybe they're better, but the action always seems a bit tricky. And so I do appreciate that they did bring in some, proper ex-pros and that, and they've tried to have a go at it. But I just think fundamentally, I've just never seen football work that well. So I think it depicts it as well as anything. And I couldn't find a budget for this movie, but obviously it's not huge, is it? And Duvall was the producer for it. Apparently he'd been across to Scotland, 10 years earlier and just fell in love with it. And, what he sees as getting back to his roots. And, so that's why he was keen to do this little movie in Scotland. And, yeah, I agree with the wholesome thing, and I just think I can't believe we just didn't know about it in the 2000s, because I absolutely would have watched this and really enjoyed it as well, and especially at that time when McCoist was more, he probably just retired about that time, maybe 2000. Can't remember exactly when he retired, but he's still very fresh in the mind as this great player. So yeah, I'm going to go even higher, Chris. I'm going to go Pleasantville. I know nice. What we say about the the shorthand that they give. They don't really sort of get across that divide, and why there's this, it's a big thing for, Protestant Gordon McLeod, his daughter marrying, this Celtic player, this Catholic Celtic player. So it doesn't really go too deep into that. And then there's the whole move into Dublin thing. But I think they do pack a lot in. And so I think if you did this as a series, you could explore those different storylines a bit more. And I think now we're almost spoiled, aren't we? Because we have these cable shows, these things like Ted Lasso. You can just explore those side stories a lot more. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I think it punches way above its weight. I think it's a hidden gem, as you say.
And I'm with you, and it's one of them movies where there's not a lot of research about it, and I want to go down a rabbit hole of just knowing everything about it, because it's fascinating that I sort of half remember someone talking about movies Ally McCoist was in. You just don't think he's star billing in this. He's not just on it as like a footballer who shakes some kid's hands or takes a picture, or we see him playing, but he's not actually talking. He's full on acting in this. So I think it absolutely baffles my head that I've never even heard of it, Dave. And I've been listening to TalkSport. I don't listen to it like I used to, but TalkSport a lot over the last few years. And he's been like the main man on there for years. So I never mentioned it when he's doing the breakfast shows and that. God only know. He might have done, but yeah, great pick, mate. However, Dave, it's my pick for next week. Now, some say, Chris, are you going to be a bellend? Are you going to stitch Dale? Well, I'm not going
Usually the answer is yes.
Yes, yeah. I'm not going to stitch you up, mate. I'm not. So I was thinking, what do I pick? Do I pick something? I know I picked Heat last time. So this time, Dave, which is ironic because I only just realised this, I even know is the movie does have Heat in. But this movie, my friend, is from 1988. This movie stars one absolute iconic, one of the greatest movie stars ever, action stars ever. You probably know it already. But it's directed by Walter Hill, Dave, who we have recently just done Brewster's Millions that he did. He did 48 Hours and another 48 Hours movies I've picked as well. So this one stars Edo Ross, Pete Boyle, Jim Belushi. But more important, Dave, it stars Arnold Schwarzenegger. This one is Red Heat. So let's get into the trailer.
I used to love this one, Chris.
Look,
Yeah.
just out of curiosity,
I
how do
did.
Soviets deal with all the tension and stress? Vodka.
What's weird in this?
I had a flat top like that around this time.
Oh, fucking brilliant. I think what's interesting is when he's walking around, it's just the Terminator, isn't it?
What did he do? He took a leak
Absolutely just the Terminator.
Because I guess Russian people are basically T-1000s.
Yeah, or Ivan Drago lookalikes.
Yeah. Or T-800s, rather.
Yeah.
What do you say? He say, go and kiss your mother's behind.
With the most unpredictable cop
How you doing, honey?
Drop dead.
Thank you.
on the streets of Chicago.
You look like Marvin Hagler to me.
Is it racist?
What the hell is that? That is a terrible
He's
line.
got his own kind of style.
There's his mate again there. You know, his
Ben,
name.
isn't it?
Yes, Ben. Running man,
He's got
calling
no
him.
style at all.
Chicago cop never relinquishes his weapon. Here. Ridzik is a good cop. Police! And a total expert at fouling up. You did not make it, Victor. He killed a Chicago police
Oh, what an
Oh,
accent
officer. Chicago
that
police
is.
first.
And now,
I'm looking forward to the trailer.
With this much friction,
I give up. This whole thing's very Russian.
there's gotta be heat.
I bet kills this.
Red heat.
You know what we call this? This is called chicken. But you're not supposed to play with boxes. You ready to swerve?
Arnold Schwarzenegger, James Belushi, in a Walter Hill film.
Nice work, Gumby. Thank you. I didn't mean that. I know.
Red heat.
That sounded like you doing an Arnie impression.
I was about to say it's like Arnie doing an
I
impression
know.
of himself. But yeah, that's all we've got for next week, mate. It's been on my radar for a while, so I'd now tick it off the box, and it's a bit of Arnie as well, which I love. So yeah,
Very
looking forward to
good,
this
very
underappreciated Arnie movie because I think Twins was out the same year and took all the money. He made money on this Red Heat, but Twins was the one that stole the show same year.
Yeah, 88 as well, year before the Berlin Wall comes down.
Yeah, the Hoff taking us through the Berlin Wall coming down, Dave. Yeah, remember it well.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you for that, mate. I'm looking forward to next week. Thank you to everyone, as always, for your support. If you want to email us, the VHSStrikesBack@gmail.com. If you want to follow us on social media, @VHSStrikesBack. And as always, if you do want to support us, please get over to patreon.com/the VHS Strikes Back. So the roll call of honor and a big thank you and welcome to our newest patron, Chris, who's coming at Top Gun. So welcome, Chris. And I have seen some of the messages with what you're going to be picking, mate. So I do appreciate all your support, me and Dave. So thank you. But anyway, the roll call of honour is welcome again to Chris, Graham, Matty V, Reese, Nick, Greg, Gareth, Mike Lee, Helen Dillon, Dan, Justin, Susan, Tim, Matt, Kent, Lucky Lulu Green, Dan, Jax, Math Blake, John Hammond, and Mr. Tony Farina. That takes me out. They're the extra people now. I've just had the Kate Cadence for so long. It's so nice people joining, but yeah, I've got to get a better rhythm, I think. I'm going to have to start from the bottom upwards. But anyway, thank you so much for your support, guys. So, Dave, what Scottish Highland magic have you got to take us out with today, my friend?
Well, Chris, you know, there are some great football songs, aren't there, which I using quotes. So, again, I was thinking, do I go full on, you know, Kilnockie and all of that story? But it got me thinking about all of the different World Cup songs. You know, it's such a huge thing, isn't it? And you know, obviously we're just starting. We're off on the World Cup, and it did get me thinking back. So it's a bit of a weird tangent, right? So it kind of reminds me of my dad. So I was watching like a Top of the Pops World Cup special or something like that, and they had on it Ali's Tartan Army, and I had it on, and my dad was just walking through the front room at the time, when there's a line in that song where it's like, England can't do it because they didn't qualify. You know, this is the World Cup in '78 in Argentina. And like, I was only a kid, like, and I was watching it, and you've got no sense of banter or anything. And I was like, seems a bit harsh, doesn't it? And my dad was just pissing himself. He was just like, that's brilliant, you know, just like really twisting the knife in a brilliant way. You know, you got this guy singing away, and he's in the middle of London somewhere in the Top of the Pops studios. So that was almost my introduction to banter, you know, and I think fondly of that line now. But yeah, so Chris, I have gone full on. Like, this is the unofficial VHS Scotland World Cup song for A Shot to Glory. So it's kind of, you know, it's partially Shot to Glory, but it's also, I'm thinking about Scotland being in the World Cup, and I really do hope they do well. I hope they, you know, it's a tough ask for the last game, but hopefully they can pick enough points in the first couple of games to qualify through the group stage. But here we go, A Shot at Glory.
A shot at glory! Glory Scotland! Oh, yeah! Hey! There's a sound in the distance rolling over the rain, a song we thought we'd never get to sing again. From the towns and the terraces, the bars and the streets, there's a nation waking up with hope at its feet. We've waded through the heartbreak, the draws and the doubts, the nearly there moments and the crashing back out. But the flags are in the windows, the scarves are on display, and every voice is saying, this time all the way. They say don't get carried away, but it's too late now. We were gone yesterday, we know the odds, we know the pain, but here we are, believing again. A shot at glory, glory Scotland. Na, 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 na. A shot at glory, glory Scotland. Na, 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 na. A shot at glory, glory Scotland. We're going all the way. There are flags at the airport and songs on the plane, all dreams coming home in a brand new campaign. There are fathers and daughters, brothers and friends, all swearing this journey won't end where it ends. We'll roar every tackle, we'll rise for every chance, we'll turn every pub into a football dance. And if the world is watching, then let them watch today. The boys are marching and we're on our way. They say just enjoy the ride, but we've got fire and foolish pride. We know the script, we know the game, but still we're here, believing again. A shot at glory, glory Scotland. Na, 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 na. A shot at glory, glory Scotland. Na, 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 na. A shot at glory, glory Scotland. We're going So raise your glass to the years gone by, to the tears we laughed and the hopes held high, to every song that shook the floor, to every next time said before. And if it breaks us, let it break us loud, shoulder to shoulder in the crowd, for one more dream, one more day, one more chance to say a shot at glory, glory, Scotland. Na 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 na. A shot at glory, glory, Scotland. Na 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 na. A shot at glory, glory, Scotland. We're going all the way. A shot at glory, glory, Scotland. Hey, na 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 na. Hey, a shot at glory, glory, Scotland. Hey, na 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 na. A shot at glory, glory, Scotland. We're going all the way. We're going all the way. We're going all the way this time.
Very good, mate. And yeah, love it. I just hope next week delivers. This has been a bit of a culture shock, but loved it this week. Football, Ally McCoist, top shagger. Brilliant. So great pick, mate. No, but thanks again, mate. Really, really enjoyed this week.
Amazing stuff. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I definitely did. And like you say, looking forward to hopefully a good World Cup. But Chris, thank you very much, sir. Thanks to all our listeners out there. Thanks to all our supporters. And we'll speak to you next time.
Bye.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over. What the fuck are we gonna do now? What are we gonna do?
Maybe we could build a fire, sing a couple of songs, huh? Why don't we try that?
We better get back, because it'll be dark soon, and they mostly come at night. Mostly.
I'll be back.
That's odd.
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
Wax on, wax off.
Get to the chopper!
One ring to go.
All right. Ding, ding.
Bust you up. Go for it.
Well, here we go. Ain't so bad. Ain't so bad. Ain't so bad. Come on. Ain't so bad. Ain't nothing. Come on. You must be crazy or something. I'm crazy. You just a stupid fool. Yeah, maybe you're crazy. I ain't breathing heavy. He's a fool. He's stupid. I've seen you at 6 more.
I must break you.